Welcome to the Databricks Skill Builder series. We're glad you're here.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Karthick Baskaran. I'm a senior specialist solutions architect in the field engineering team, and I specialize in data governance. And today we're going to talk about Databricks systems table and more into the observability and monitoring. So these are the contents that I want to present today. We're going to talk at a high level what observability means, and then I'm going to talk about what is the difference between observability and monitoring. And then we're going to talk about how Databricks allows you to do observability using system tables. And then we're going to see a short demo of how to enable system tables within your account. And then at the end, I'm going to give you some links that if you want to try it out yourself, there are a couple of places where you can go and do it. So I'm going to share a few links with you as well. So to start with, in general terms, right, in observability, what this simply means is it means it's a way to monitor what's happening and how your application is behaving. So basically, if you want to understand how your application is behaving and what is happening behind the scenes, you need to have some kind of observability. So this is what we're going to talk about. And this is normally done by collecting metrics or logs and traces. So these are the three main pillars of observability. So whenever you build an application, you want to make sure that you enable certain logging in it so that it's easy for users to understand what's happening within your application. Even as we builders, we start building applications, it's important that we normally enable logging. Like, for example, if you're building a script or something, you would normally have logging enabled. So that way, when you run it and when you have some errors, you know where the error is happening, right? So it's important to collect these logs and metrics so that we can provide observability. And using these logs and observabilities, normally software engineers can see in real time how their application is behaving and what issues might be occurring. So that's why we want to make sure that we have logs and metrics and traces made available. And if you think about it, right, the concept of observability, right, however, has deep roots in the broader engineering principle of control theory, right, where the measure of the internal state of a system can be observed only using its external output. So whatever the metrics that you want to capture internally and whatever you show it out, that's what would actually help us understand what is happening internally within the system. So that is why observability is very important. And moving on, like there are a lot of confusion between observabilities and monitoring, right? I mean, there are a lot of open source tools outside to do a lot of monitoring and observability, but then people normally confuse between observability and monitoring. Are these the same or are there any differences? At a high level, if you look at it, monitoring is just an action. Like monitoring is something that you do, right? And then if you talk about observability, observability is an attribute of a system. It's more of a noun. And to explain this, right? So observability is a property of a system. So meaning it means the system should actually have some capabilities to externalize what's happening within the system. And these data points that are externalized by the application will allow us to understand what's actually happening within the system and where it is happening. So that is why that is what observability is. And this might sound very similar to monitoring, but observability is more of a superset of monitoring because monitoring gives you some high-level metrics and high-level details about what happens in your system, but then observability gives you much more details about where it is happening and how it is happening and why it is happening. So that is why observability is more of a superset compared to monitoring. And mostly when you build any applications or system, the way you actually enable observability is by collecting logs and traces and metrics from your system. And normally, these are actually collected by all the applications or all the products. And Databricks also collects a lot of metrics, logs, and traces from different customer accounts. So that is how we actually do the billing and traceability and auditing internally, right? So the way we expose these to our customers. So when we collect all these billing details and auditing details, all these things, whatever happens within the customer account, we try to collect all those things, and then we expose those things as system tables to our users. And the reason is because a lot of customers have started to ask us questions about, hey, how do we actually monitor what's happening into our Databricks account, right? So they ask a lot of these type of questions. And then a lot of customers ask about, hey, we have so many number of jobs and we do not know which one is actually costing us more. There are some queries that is running for a long time and we do not know which one is actually going to cost us more. And then there are a lot of use cases where you might want to understand how your data travels through your pipelines, where it originates and where it actually ends. So that's the lineage. So a lot of customers ask us about these kind of questions. So in order to answer those, Databricks actually has system tables. So basically, system tables is a way to observe what's happening within your Databricks environment. And we provide a set of tables that stores these information about all the activities that is happening in your account. And using that, you will be able to build any monitoring or alerting around this. And right now, as of today, we have details about audit log. So audit log basically provides you details about what's happening across your account, your entire Databricks account. And then we have lineage information. So this is a very interesting topic. A lot of customers ask about lineage. So lineage is basically, you want to understand how the data travels from the source or the origin to the place where it gets consumed, right? So the journey of your data. So this is normally captured as part of the lineage. And then we also have billable usage and pricing. So this mostly talks about the cost factor, right? So we have a lot of customers who want to understand how much it's going to cost them, or how the total cost of running a job, or the cost of a particular long running query. So those kind of details, we can actually get it from the billable usage and the pricing table. And then we have cluster and node types, which basically talks about, stores information about the cluster configuration and the node details. And then we also have marketplace listing and predictive optimization. And so as we start through Databricks systems table, right? It's not directly available when you just log into the Databricks console. So if any user who wants to see Databricks systems table, if you log into the console, it's not available. And there is a reason why it is not available, because you need to enable these system tables. And the reason why you need to enable this is because these system traces or logs or metrics are already captured by Databricks, and it is actually stored. And now that customers are starting to ask for these, we are trying to enable them. So in order for a customer to see these, they need to enable those system tables. And internally, it is actually a delta sharing mechanism where Databricks will start sharing these details with the customers. So that's why you have to enable this. And at any point, if you want to disable a particular system, if you want to disable the schemas, you can certainly disable the schemas as well. And once you enable the system tables, normally if anyone wants to access it, you need to have usage and select permissions on the system schemas. And normally this is granted by your Metastore admin. And the reason is because a lot of the details that the system table actually collects is at the account level or at the workspace level. So it is important that these are secure. So that is why the Metastore admin normally grants access to the system tables to selected users. And the next thing is system tables are normally governed by Unity catalog. So what that means is if you have a Databricks account and if you do not have any workspace that is enabled for Unity catalog, at that point, you will not be able to see the Databricks systems table. But it does not matter if you have enabled all your workspaces or not. But in order to see your system tables, all you have to do is you just create one Unity catalog enabled workspace, and then use that to run a small Python script where you call a particular API, and that enables all your system tables. And then you can go into your console, you will be able to see all the system tables there. So the system tables, once you enable it, it's going to show you details about all the workspaces in your environment, it's going to show you information about workspaces that are Unity Catalog enabled and workspaces that are not Unity Catalog enabled. So both the type of workspaces and their collective metrics will also be shared. Any questions so far? Okay. And when it comes to systems table, so the audit and lineage information that we have within the system tables, right? So we collected so when you start enabling the systems table, we normally have details about all the workspaces in your account. So the workspace that you have, the entire workspaces that you have, everything is there within the same region. So in the same region, at the region level, it's going to show you. But when it comes to billing, it's going to give you information about the entire account, which means like all the regions included. And then there are a few limitations when it comes to system tables. These are a few questions that I have encountered with few customers. Like one is how frequently the data gets refreshed in the system tables. Normally, these tables are not refreshed, or these are not real-time tables. The data and metrics are collected throughout the day. So as the data is getting collected, the system tables are getting updated throughout the day. So throughout the day, you will be able to see more and more data there. And in order to enable the system tables, as I was mentioning earlier, the system tables are governed by Unity Catalog. So in order to have system tables enabled, you need to have at least one workspace that is connected to Unity Catalog. And it actually includes data from all your workspaces, which are connected to UC, as well as which are not connected to your Unity Catalog. And you use this particular API endpoint. As with any Databricks operation, we have a lot of API endpoints for different type of operations. So enabling and disabling also has API endpoint. So you use this particular endpoint to enable your system tables within your workspace. So in order to do that, I'm going to show how to do that in a quick demo. But it's a very simple Python script that you just run it from one of your workspace in your notebook, and then that is going to enable all the system tables available for you. And yeah, this is the script that I was mentioning earlier. So if you look at it, it basically has very few steps in it, right? I mean, it's less than 50 lines. You need your metastore ID. That's basically, you can collect it. You can get your metastore ID, and then your host, and then the API token that you're going to use, and then basically use those things to call the list of schemas available, and then enable each of those schemas using the API. I want to take a quick pause and see if you have any questions.
Karthik, one question.
Sure.
So when we say enabling system tables through the script, and maybe this, I'll get better understanding when I see the demo, but from the UI itself, is it a prerequisite on the admin to run the script for them to even, for the tables to even come in the UI? Is that what the script is about? Okay.
Yes. So when I show you the demo in the console, I'm going to show you how it's going to look like. If you have not enabled system tables initially, then you will not see those schemas within your systems catalog. But once you enable it, then you will be able to see all the systems tables within your catalog.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, just a quick demo. I'm going to switch screens and I'm going to start showing you how to enable this, how to run this. I'm going to switch my screen now. Okay, so as you can see here, right? So I logged into my personal account, and right now I have all the systems table enabled, but so you actually are able to see all the system tables here, like the access, the billing, compute, lineage, marketplace, and storage. All these schemas are enabled now, but normally if you do not have system tables enabled, then within the systems catalog, you will be able to see only the information schema. The remaining ones will not be there. And the way we enable the system table, as I was describing earlier, um, you actually have the script. So this is the script that I was mentioning. And you basically create a workspace that is connected to your Unity Catalog Metastore, and then use that notebook. And you can just copy paste this. I will even tell you where to get this particular script. And you run it. It's going to give you a list of unit system tables available for you. So we have the storage, access, billing, compute, marketplace, operational data, lineage. These are the catalog schemas that are available, and those are the ones available in public preview. So it enabled all those schemas for me successfully. So once this script runs, and then when you go into your catalog, when you go into a system, you will see all these different schemas there. And each schemas, you will actually have different details, different tables within that, which actually will give you a lot of information about that particular module. And the next thing is, so this is the demo center. So I was mentioning earlier that I'm going to give you a way where you can go and practice, or you can enable system tables, right? So you can get the script from this site. So this is our Databricks demo center. And if you go to this one, and if you click on systems tables, you will be able to install a demo notebook. So all you have to do is you just create a notebook and then start installing that. Just two commands. One is pip install db demos. That's going to install everything required. And then after that, you just need to import and install the system tables demo notebooks. And this is going to basically create few notebooks, and then it's going to create a dashboard. Using those, you will be able to understand. You can use that as a starting point to create some more dashboards with other metrics as well. So I ran this already. So yesterday, for preparing for this demo, I already completed this one, and I have all the notebooks, everything ready. So once you run this, at the bottom, you will be able to see a notebook that talks about a very high-level introduction about system tables. So that is what we have here. So this notebook gives you an overview of Unity Catalog system tables. And then you have some tables about billing and billing forecast, and then the audit logs and lineage. So these notebooks will give you details about the different capabilities that we talked earlier. And then, so the script that I was actually showing, if you click on this notebook, this is what actually has the script of how to programmatically enable your system tables within your Unity catalog. So you use this one and you can start running this, and this automatically will enable all the system schemas for you. Any questions so far?
So Karthik, this will be run by the administrator once the users are not, that's all right? That's our understanding.
Yes, it is. It's enabled once, and after that, you should be able to see them in your Unity catalog. And then, yes, I forgot to mention, there is a dashboard. It actually creates a sample dashboard, which you can actually use to see some built-in metrics that is already created for you. So at the notebook, it actually creates a dashboard as well. So this is my personal account, so you don't see a lot of graphs or you don't see a lot of colorful metrics there. It's only, I spent only like $24, so it just gives you very minimal details there. But if you look at it, it actually does provide you a lot of other details. When you run this in a real Databricks environment, you will be able to get a lot of details about what's happening across your environment in terms of $dbu as well as forecasting. And then at the bottom, it actually has details about tables, volumes, schemas, the number of catalogs you have, table types, all these details it actually provides you. And then, as you know, these dashboards are basically queries. So if you go into the queries, you can see the list of queries that we already have. The demo notebook that you used to install, it actually creates all these queries for you. So when you have queries, you can certainly create alerts. You can set a threshold, and you can set a lot of alerts to alert you if a certain threshold is met. Okay, there are a few questions in the chat, so I'm just going to quickly check on that. So system tables, so one question is, do system tables treat managed tables and external tables in the same way? So when it comes, so I think you are mostly asking about the details that we saw in this particular dashboard, right? So this is
Right, Karthik, yeah.
Yes. So the one that we are seeing here is it's just getting a calculation of how many managed tables you have, how many system tables you have. But again, that is not going to factor into the actual cost, right? It's not going to give you, it doesn't matter. It's going to cost you like X amount of dollars for creating managed tables or Y amount of dollars to create an external table. So is that the difference you're looking for?
What I'm looking for is when we collect all these details about billing, usage, everything that we collect the info for, is there a restriction on it has to be a UC managed tables for us to show? It's all the tables that are in UC, right?
Yes, it's so basically it's going to get details from all your workspaces. So even if your workspace is not Unity Catalog enabled, those tables in your Hive Metastore, even those tables, those metrics will be collected.
Awesome. Thank you.
So system tables are regional. Can you confirm system tables are regional? That is, you need to enable for each region when you have UC Metastore, where you have UC Metastore. So system tables, there are some tables that are regional, and there are some tables that are going to give you the full end-to-end picture. For example, the billing tables is going to give you details across all the regions, whereas the audit logs and the lineage, it's going to be regional. So those are going to be separate. Any other questions?
Karthik, one more question. When we say Hive Metastore tables, it doesn't have to be UC anywhere. Is there a restriction on the format today, or is there a list of formats that we can only decipher and not the rest?
No, it's going to, in general, it's going to calculate everything that is in Hive Metastore. So if you think about it, right, these metrics are already captured by Databricks internally for.
You're just putting a schema on it, yeah.
So whatever metrics we are calculating and we are collecting, so that is what we are exposing it to our customers. So it doesn't matter, it's going to be a Hive Metastore table or a UC enabled table, external or managed or Delta or non-Delta, everything is getting considered here.
Thanks, Karthik.
No problem. Any other questions?